Topic 5. Crazy pivots, the unbreakable. Crazy pivots define the key reaction zone. These are not the traditional or conventional market pivots. They are derived from a proprietary statistical and mathematical algorithm refined since 2009. There's one absolute rule on it: never find the pivots. Now, what are the pivots? Let's take a look. Now, for pivot, you can see that, okay, the market, whenever it reaches the pivot, two things may happen. It either reject or rebound or break through decisively. Your job is not to guess. Your job is to respond to confirmation. So it's very simple. Example, pivot 1. Well, pivot 1 is known to be like the resistance, and pivot 2, the support. So when the market breaks pivot 1, especially when it's a yellow candle above OP, breaks pivot 1, it will be a buy. All right, vice versa. If the market basically goes below the pivot 2, break below OP, break pivot 2, it is a sell. All right, I'll show you example very shortly. Let's take a look over here. Okay, so when you see the market goes below OP and below pivot 2, it will be a sell. But once the market recovers above the pivot 1 again, it'll become a buy. I'll show you more in details very shortly. Now, one thing to note is that for pivot and pivot 2, when the market opens between the two pivots, usually the market is a bit slower. But if the market opens above pivot 1 or below pivot 2, usually there's big movement. And of course, once in a blue moon, you see no pivots. That means that you don't see pivots on your screen. That's whereby the opening price will become the key and main decider. Now, really, in a very rare moon or red moon, if you call that sometimes the pivot 2 goes below pivot 1, and that is whereby we call it inverse pivot. And when that happens, usually the market will be very, very slow. So let me show you now with more example how you can use the pivot. Let's take a look on what happened on gold. And we'll go to the 5-minute chart and let's take a look. Okay, so what we can see is this: the market opens above and trades above OP. And when it goes up, you can see it breaks the pivot 1. And for the first time when it broke, you'll see a blue arrow popping up on your screen to inform you that. Now, if the market stays above the pivot 1 and above OP, of course, in general, that is a buy. But once the market goes below the pivot 1, usually you do see some selling, and you may try a few times. And once the completion of the rejection is there, the selling will kick in. But of course, if the market stays above it with yellow candle, bang, that's how things happen. So there are a few times what happened in the day. It can happen a few times, but as long as you follow the coloration, you follow the pivot, you know what exactly to do. And once you get the idea, you will know that how powerful is this pivot. And you can see again this example. Let's take a look on this on the Hong Kong market. You can see it's the same thing. The market basically trades trades below the OP of the day and goes below the pivot 1. It's become a sell, right? Look how crazy it went back up. It stopped here exactly at pivot 1 before coming back down again. So as long as the market can't go past pivot 1, in this case, the market will sell. And if the market can go past the pivot 1 with a yellow candle, that's where the upside will come in. So that's why a lot of people use our pivot to get the critical turning point of the market. And if everything goes well, like example, when it's above OP, yellow candle, KSI green, above MLP, breaks above pivot 1, it can be a very, very strong buy. So vice versa, if the market trades below opening price, the red candle, KSI red, below MLP, breaks below pivot 2, the selling will kick in. So the professional trade on confirmation, not hope. Crazy pivot are structural, not optional. Respecting them aligned with your institutional behavior will definitely give you a competitive edge over the rest of the people. Try it and you will know it. Thank you very much.